opportunity to speak few words. Last week I went to Detroit to drop Naveen. I went on Tuesday and came back on Friday. Naveen was there for 3 months. He likes Detroit. It's not that hot, so he likes that climate. Before I give a message, I have a testimony of thanks for the Lord, how wondrous He is. I went to Detroit, and I've been to I've stepped foot in 9 countries. I love traveling. I've traveled all my life. I've traveled different places. This year also I went to India also. I went to 5-6 cities in India. The reason I'm saying is that I traveled everywhere. My wallet, I keep my wallet on my right side of my front pocket. Okay, so I don't know. I've been to all part of India. I've been to all part of most of US. My wallet is always on my right side, on my front pocket. On Tuesday when I reached Detroit, I went to see one of my aunts, and she said she is in some other house. I went to their house, my cousin's house. And I was leaving, he said, "Oh, let's take my dog for a walk." So I went with him to dog walk. And then when I came back, I said, I have to go to somebody. One of my cousins asked me to go out with him for dinner. So from there, me and my son went to my cousin's house. So suddenly when I reached my cousin's house, I checked my pocket, my wallet is gone. And suddenly I thought probably I left my wallet in my house. So I didn't take it with me. I never lost my wallet in my life, so I didn't care much about it. But still I called my cousin and said, "Can you just look around my wallet, because you can see in my neighborhood." He just moved to an apartment. His house had some problems. He had to move to an apartment while his house is being fixed. So he went and searched everywhere. He said, "No, I couldn't find it." So I was able to call my parents, "Can you go and check in my house whether I left my wallet?" And they called me back that they cannot find my wallet. So that was it. I was pretty upset about it. And there was $400 in my wallet. I had all my IDs, credit card, everything. So the worst is that when you are traveling, you need ID on the plane, right? So I was more concerned that when I'm coming back, I don't have an ID then. And that was it. And then I had to call my credit card company, cancel all my cards. I had to ask my credit card company to send me post a card to my parents. And then on the 3rd day, I thought I lost it. On the 3rd day, my cousin called me. "Guess what? Somebody returned your wallet with all the money in their apartment office." Like how people are, that's amazing. I like Detroit now more. It's somebody said, "Houston, you will not have found it." Okay, whatever it is. There was some person here, a dog was walking his dog, gave my wallet with every money is in some wallet. Man, thank God for that. Okay, I have to say that. So let me come back to the message. Today's message, I want you to read, open Isaiah 14, 1-3. I'm sorry, Isaiah 45, 1-3. Isaiah 45, 1-3. I will read it. "Thus says the Lord to Cyrus his anointed, whom I have taken by the right hand, to subdue nation before him, and loose the loins of king, to open doors before him, so that the gates will not be shut. I will go before you and make the rough places smooth. I will shatter the doors of bronze and cut through their iron bars. I will give you the treasures of the darkness, the hidden wealth of secret places. In order you will know that I, Lord, the God of Israel, will call you by your name." Today's message is treasures of darkness. And I recently heard a message, and this kind of inspired me to give this message. So this text is for Cyrus, but this text is for all of us. Treasures of darkness. Okay, he says that God holds the anointed ones, and you are the anointed. In that he says Cyrus, but in this you are the anointed one. He opens the gates and breaks the doors for you. So, and he straightens the crooked places. And so this time I'm going to speak what is treasures of darkness. If you think about what is darkness is the absence of light, and we can measure light, we can measure light. Light has something called luminous, So a candle has 10 luminous, and if a 60 watt bulb has about 3000 lumens, 2000 lumens. So there's a measure, you can measure light, but darkness you cannot measure. Because darkness is, there is no light. But it's not that, okay? We hate darkness because we hate the fear of unknown. What is there in the darkness? We don't like it. We don't know what is in darkness. You know, recently there was a big news you may have heard that they were able to take the picture of a black hole. You know, did you ever knew the news came? They were able to take the picture of a black hole. A lot of scientists talked about black hole, but they were never able to capture a black hole. You know what's a black hole? Is a star which has so much mass. It crushes itself and becomes so massive that it becomes a hole. The hole is so big and so massive that it has so much mass and gravity that it sucks everything inside it. Even light cannot escape the black hole. It's so dark, it's so big. They say that the problem is because light cannot escape that, they cannot take a picture of it. But what happens is that they were able to take a picture because while it was sucked, there's a ring of particles were moving at a very massive speed around the black hole, which was very bright. That's why they were able to take the picture of it. A lot of theologians say that the black hole is the hell. It's so dark, it's so powerful, you cannot escape it. Okay, it's that massive. So when you think about darkness, it's like that. Darkness is it's unknown, it's dark, there's nothing good in it. When you say, the definition of faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So this is the thing is that we have this thing about it. If an analogy I will give you, in dark, our lifestyle is based on our memory, what we think through it. In the darkness we cannot plan it, in light we can. And just an example is, if you see a dog, you have a dog in your house, if it barks in the daytime, you know it's barking for some squirrels, right? But if it barks in the night, you think there will be some bird, somebody's in my house. We have different thought because darkness always gives us fear of something. And so I'm going to tell you something opposite of darkness. It's not bad. So the first I will say is that, one thing is that in this is, I will give you treasures of darkness, not treasure of darkness. It's not singular, it's plural. Treasure, like a lot of things comes in the darkness. So first thing is that treasures, what is the first thing I will say? That treasure is the presence of God you can see in darkness. You know, God is love. It says that, if you think about Paul lost Paul became Saul to Paul, he suddenly saw God, he became blind. 3 days he was blind. You know that, right? Paul became blind. He was dark. He became Saul to Paul in his darkness. He was blinded at the time. There he was revealed. And if you open 1 Kings, I will read from 8 to 12. Okay, 1 Kings 8 to 12. And it came to pass, when the priests were come out of the holy place, that the clouds filled the house of Lord, so that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord had filled the house of Lord. Then spake Solomon, the Lord said that he will dwell in the thick darkness. It says that Lord will dwell in the thick darkness. And then when you think about it, you say always God shows us the light, right? But yeah, he will. But he because the thing is, when you think about darkness, in physics, black is dark, right? Black is the mix of all colors. If you think about colors, combination, they say black is a mix of all colors. And the thing is, black doesn't reflect any color out, that's why it's black. So, but there is something in it, but still. So, and also, when you read in Exodus 20:21, and the people stood afar off, 20:21, when it talks about Moses, it says that Moses saw God. Moses drew near into the thick darkness where God was. So we always think God in the brightness, but in this, God was in the darkness. And in a thick darkness, God was there. That's why God is so mysterious. You will see Him in darkness. The thing is that, and the second is that, the true treasures of this darkness, you can see revelation. The same example back to Moses. In the darkness, the 10 Commandments were revealed out. Because God was in dark. He revealed the 10 Commandments. That means in Matthew 10:27 says that, when I tell you in the darkness, speak in the light. What I tell you in the darkness, speak in the light. And what you hear whispered in the ear, proclaim upon the housetop. It says that what I speak you in the darkness, you can find it. What I tell you in the darkness, you speak in the light. That means He's revealing you something in the darkness. That is, you show in the light. And so, if you look at the examples of Joseph or Daniel, Joseph was in his darkest time. He found God gave him revelations, right? And Daniel too. And when you think about the life of Abraham, Genesis 15:12 says that, and when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abraham, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. When you think about it, there's another you say horror of great darkness fell upon Abraham. And then Exodus 20, again to the same thing on how darkness is like, it's horror of great darkness. Darkness is so dangerous. It's like, but it's not that bad, because on Exodus 10:21 it says that, when the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hands toward the sky, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even a darkness which may be felt. It was that dark that I told you before, you cannot basically measure darkness. But it says that in this verses, darkness can be felt. It was that dark. But when you go back now to the same verse I was talking about, Abraham, the horror of great darkness fell upon him, but he had a revelation. Because Abraham at that time was able to know that he had a great prosperity ahead of him. He was able to know that about how they will be slave for Egyptian. And he knew that after that, with that night darkness, he was able to know that they will be rewarded and they will reach the promised land. That is it. He was able to. That's a revelation God is going to. When you look at it, if you go to any jewelry shop, we don't know. We Pentecostal don't buy jewelries. But if you ever seen a jewelry shop, you always see that the jewelries are kept in a black box. Have you seen that? The jewelries, when you check it, the jewelry's background is a black, like a velvet kind of. You know why? Because if you put a jewelry in a black, it comes off. In the dark, in the black background, the shining of the jewelry will come off. It becomes more bright. That's how it is. In darkness, the revelations comes out. The brightness will more exposed in the dark. And that's the thing in your life. Sometimes in your dark moment, suddenly that eureka things comes out. Yeah, that's what it is. Sometimes in your darkest time, you will feel that revelation. The problem is around our life is that we always used to this, everything is going good. We never think. When something goes bad, we start. Suddenly, God sometimes gives something, darkness in your life. Suddenly, yes, this is what I should have done it. Sometimes you lose a job, you don't want to lose. You're such a nice job you have. Suddenly you just lose your job because that was something for good for you. You don't get it till you lose it, So that's the thing. And the third is that treasure of darkness is secret deliverance and victory. Through darkness you get victory. When you look at it, on Exodus 14:21 it says, the Moses stretched out his hands over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go by strong east wind, and all that night made the sea dry and the waters were divided. In the Exodus it says that miracles happens in the night. In the Moses, the Lord divided the sea in the night. Sometimes, God is using the night vision goggles He can see the night, he can see the darkness through the vision goggles, and he can make the wind blow in your impossible situations. Wind blows, and it can make your life, something's the darkest thing in your life, it suddenly goes out. And then it's on Corinthians 2, 1 Corinthians 2 says that, but we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom, which God ordained before the world into our glory. It says that God works in the night for us. He never stops. And one of the best thing happens sometimes in your life is in the darkness. You have no idea. He's working in the night for us. And I will say that the last treasure is that through the treasures of darkness, we can find lost souls of men and women. This is a story I heard a long time back. I don't know much detail. I remember it like I saw a military officer say in some convention. I don't know who he is. I just know a little bit of the story, and that's it. He says that one time he was coming from some camp, and he was driving. He lost his way, and it became pretty dark in the night, and suddenly his jeep became very hot, and so Indian jeep, you put water on it, so for the radiator. So one place he was so lost, he couldn't find a house, so he get water, right? So driving, in the end he found a house. So he stopped the jeep in front of the house, and he went and knocked at the door. Nobody was knocking the door. He can see somebody's inside. After a lot of knocking, some lady opened the door, and this guy is a very spiritual guy, and opened the lady and her kid were planning to kill themselves at that time. This is the guy who said that in the conversation. Their husband had left them. They were in a very dire situation, and he opened the door. God brought him here in his dark time to that door, and he opened the door. He was able to save them, and that's all it is. God sometimes brings people in life who are going through the darkest time, so that you can show them the light. In a darkest time, sometimes he shatters it says on the verses, he says that I will shatter through the doors of bronze and cut through their iron glass. And he sees, and that's how God brings people to you in your dark time. And in their dark times, you go to them and show them light. And so what is the benefit after you know that you have gone through this, the season of darkness? What is the benefit? The benefit is that to know the truth of darkness. That if you look at it, when Jacob was running away, it says in the night, in Genesis 28:16, it says, Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and surely the Lord is in this place, I know it. When you look at it, when in the darkness, if you know that, you recognize God is working in the darkness. In the Jacob's example, Jacob ran away from his brothers. Okay, he was so scared. He was like, brother is going to follow him. He hated himself. He did something so wrong. About his story. But in the night when he was asleep, he saw that God was there. Angels were protecting him. If you know that in your darkest time, God is there, that he says that surely the Lord was there. It's not like I believe Lord was there. He said surely. The word surely comes in that. Jacob says, surely the Lord is in this place. And then the second is, if you know that God is in the darkness, it says, it's provide us with rest and trust. He provides us. If you know that, the problem with darkness is we fear the unknown. So, but in this case, if you know it, then it will give you a rest. Jesus says that when he was going in that, he says, I give you nothing but peace. That's the greatest thing you can have as a believer. He gives you rest in your darkness. What is your, I know a lot of people nowadays takes anxiety medications. In US, lot of kids Like adults all take anxiety. I know a lot of people who take anxiety. Why they take anxiety medication? Because they fear the unknown. They're always scared. They have this thing that's a problem with people who they are very stressed out because they have nothing more. We don't need an anxiety medications. We never need to. And the thing is that he gives us, so in 2 Corinthians 4:6 says, 2 Corinthians 4:6 says that darkness that is transformed. For God who said, let light shine out of darkness, made his light shine in our heart to give us the light of the knowledge of God's glory displayed in the face of Christ. And finally, it says that with the darkness, when we know that, we can fight the rejoice is over, which we were weeping. When your sadness will turn into rejoice in our life. With that, like when Jacob, in his worst time, he slept, in the end he wake up more joyful. And that's what it is. In our darkness time, I pray that God will reveal you and give you blessings at the darkest. May bless you all. Thank you for giving this time.